Good morning, Truth Team. I hope everybody had a great night, a good morning. I hope y'all got plans this weekend, whether it's spending time with your family, whether it's whatever your plans are. Just make sure you have some plans, man, even if it's just to kick back and relax. Y'all already know how we gonna keep this thing off. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and pull up on your girl Mickey True. Yo, Hookah, what it do?
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Hookah Anonymous, and you are now rocking with Mickey Truth. She live up to her name, not the fame. So make sure y'all subscribe to her channel and stay updated on what's real. Bye.
Coming from where I come from, they doubted me, but I came up. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. Coming from where I come from, they doubted me, but I came up. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world. I made it through the storm, trying to conquer the world.
Good reporting ass Mickey.
We love you, Mickey.
Hey, okay. Yo, shout out to my daughter, okay? A lot of people didn't know that's who says that at the end of that. So shout out to her. Shout out to my grandbaby, okay? I am going to be spending a lot of time with them in the next week. So, y'all, make today our best day over here on the Truth Team because your girl is taking a week off. Yes, I know I said I'm taking time off so many times and my ass be right on here. But I am taking a week off after today. I may pop up here and there, but it's not going to be really nothing major unless some breaking news happens. And then if some breaking news happens, they understand. They know how this thing go. But for the most part, I will be taking a week off. For those who don't know, I'm relocating. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on. So yeah. But yo, Truth Team, what it do, man? Listen, I was tired as hell yesterday. I'm not even gonna lie. I was supposed to do this last night. I was tired. I was up at 6 a.m. Mind you, I had just went to sleep like about 11, 12 o'clock. Up at 6, on the road by 7. But I did put a little video together about my journey over to Savannah before we get into all the nitty gritty. And I actually posted it on my House of Truth page, but I'm going to play it for y'all. And then we're going to get into some more, okay? Let's get it.
Good morning. I am just waking up, literally. I'm heading to Savannah today to attend Quando Rondo's hearing, so let's get to it.
All right, now letting the car warm up, and then we're out of here.
What's up, y'all? So I am currently in Savannah at Rondo's hearing for bond. A decision has not been made yet. We're in a brief recess, okay? It's been a long day, okay? So I will be giving an update very soon, so stay tuned.
All right. God damn, I need to do better on the sound effects. Because I was like, why the hell is that drum still playing? But anyway, so that was just a little video. Y'all know I'm trying to get better on TikTok. That I just posted on TikTok and on my other YouTube page. But yeah, that was just a basis. Okay. You know, I got to take y'all along for the ride. Because from what I'm hearing, if you don't show you be outside, you ain't outside. So yeah. And I actually, every time I go somewhere, I video. I actually got one of Chicago. I just haven't posted it yet, but I'll post it probably the first of the year. But yeah, y'all. So, man, listen. Let me tell y'all this. I rode there by myself, okay? So I went solo on that one because it's like 2.5 hours away from me. It wasn't, you know, but let me tell you, I didn't realize that 2.5 hours gonna feel like 5 hours because I was tired. Okay, so I got there and I'm thinking maybe I was gonna be there in court for like an hour and I was gonna hit up the outlets, okay, because we don't have outlets in Columbia. The outlets is out that way. So I was trying to go shopping, okay. So I thought, yeah, I'm gonna make my way out of here by because the court was at 10:30. I thought I was gonna be out of there at the latest noon. We ain't get out of there until almost 5 o'clock. Or something like that, 4:30, 5 o'clock. So just say I ain't getting no shopping done. So I'm going shopping today. I'm going to Charlotte. But I had to get this out the way. Okay. So hold on. So y'all know I do my notes. Y'all know I'm a Harry Potter fan. If you didn't know, you know now I'm a Harry Potter fan. So my Harry Potter book. Okay. Let me see. How much notes do I have for this case? Well, this hearing. That's how much. And I saw a lot of people, okay, posting stuff. Shout out to everybody that shared my video because y'all know I did a quick little video of the ruling saying that he got bond. Some people posted later on of the news, which is cool because they was actually cool. I know the two reporters. Well, I not know them, but I met them in court and we had a great conversation. So a lot of people ran with the news story, but some did run with mine. I was the first one to put it out. Just FYI, had to beep beep to my own horn. But you know, it's all love. It is what it is. Okay. So in the courtroom, it was just me. I'm not sure of the station, but it's an ABC affiliate in Savannah. There's another station. It was only 3 reporters, journalists, however you want to, whatever wording you want to say. It was only 3 of us, and then everybody else's family, lawyers, U.S. Marshals. Okay, it was definitely a different type of vibe than it was when I was in Chicago. Because for one, Savannah ain't that big. Okay, so they court for one. I rode past the courthouse first time because I'm thinking it wasn't the courthouse. Because I'm like, kind of court is gonna be like in a plaza. But come to find out, it's technically not in a plaza, it's behind a plaza. So it kind of threw me off because my GPS was like, you have arrived. And I'm like, at a chiropractor's office? Like, why would a court be in a plaza? But nevertheless, it's behind the plaza. So when I pulled in, as y'all can see in that video, it says United States Court. So I'm like, oh, this is it. It wasn't packed. It wasn't every, you know, it gave me a small town vibe though, for real. Cause like they was very friendly, even the security people at the door. Now, one thing about it, unlike the Chicago courthouse, okay, and even unlike the Columbia one, we have a federal building here. You can take your phones in there. In Savannah, no phones. You can't take your phone in there at all, unless you're like a lawyer or something like that. The rest of us ain't had no phone. Okay, so Zero phones. Phone stayed in the car. And I was like, man, I'm not about to keep going outside to get on that phone. So I was like, it's just me and 2 other reporters. Nobody's going to know what's going on in here until 1 of 3 of us say something. So I'm like, cool, because they stayed in the whole time too. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm not even worried about it. We ain't taking no lunch break, no nothing. But again, it wasn't supposed to be a long hearing. The power went out, okay? Like a blackout. And that was about 2 hours. But I'm going to get into that because y'all know I went in order how the hearing went. So I'm just going to, sit like that. What you trying to say? What's wrong? Look, I'm telling y'all, I was half asleep. But I was like, you know what? If I'm going to vlog, okay, I got to do it for real. So yeah, true indeed. Let me tell y'all, that clip of me in my bonnet was literally me just waking up. Like for real. I had to grab my phone like, damn, if I'm going to tell them to follow me through my day, I'm going to have to start with literally, because I don't wake up with my hair down. I'm always in my bonnet when I'm at home. That's why half the time I don't even get on the camera, okay, because I have my bonnet on. But like I said, I'm going shopping when I get off of here, so I'm like, boom. But anyway, yeah, hey, that is me. Ashley, what it do? Oh, let me say good morning, everybody. My bad, y'all. Bosses, Zaria, Timothy, you know what I'm saying? I think I saw Paradox, Carl, everybody. But y'all know I'm trying to get into like a new transition for 2024. Megan, good morning. So yeah, okay. But that's gonna be on my other page, the vlogs. But okay, so I arrived there about 10:17. And I actually got there when a group of people got there. And at the time, I wasn't sure who the group of people was, but it was actually the family of Quando Rondo. So we arrived about the same time. It was 2 males dressed in like quarter tie. I'm gonna be honest. My first impression was, oh, maybe, some co-defendants or whatever, what I'm saying, was gonna be there. Thank you, Ash. But I later on found out who they were. But anyway, like I said, I'm gonna go in order. So when Quando Rondo entered the courtroom about 10:25, he had this green and white jail suit. He was shackled and handcuffed. Originally, his lawyer, Rondo's lawyer, asked the marshals to unhandcuff him, but they said no. So he had to sit like this, trying to like maneuver through paperwork. He was very attentive to his lawyer. Like every time his lawyer was like going through papers, he was like looking. He was very attentive to it. This was a hearing. I don't know if it's just different. I only been to one other federal, courtroom for this type of thing, and that is the O Block one. It was set up different. So in the Savannah courtroom, it's set up like you would probably see on TV, right? Like you would probably think a courtroom. They had the 2 tables like that. You know what I'm saying? They had another table over there, which I later on found out that was probation, the judge table. So it was like really set up like you would look on Law and Order and stuff like that. Then they had, the gallery. Okay. It was very small. It was only like maybe 3 rows on each side compared to like at the O Block, it's like 6 rows or something, but it's 3 rows on each side. All right. The family, of course, sat behind the defendant. I sat on the other side behind the government. I just chose to sit on the right. I don't know. I just sat there. Let me see what's next. So when the family came in, they looked at very I ain't gonna say they looked at worried, but you can tell it was like emotional for them. They all sat together in a cluster. They sat on the front row, but however, they told them everybody had to clear the front row. Now, when Rondo sat down, he had a U.S. Marshal on both sides. So, like I said, that was different because I didn't see that. I guess it probably was so many people at the O Block one. But anyway, he literally had one on this side, one on that side behind him. And it was a detention hearing. So, FYI, it was detention hearing / bond hearing. It was 1 federal witness. The defense had 7 witnesses, which they were using for character witnesses. Okay. And like I said, Rondo was very focused, observing all documents. The lawyer, like I literally wrote it down. All the documents his lawyer was putting out. He didn't really when he first came in, he looked like, I guess, to see who was in there, but for the most part he stayed focused on forward or looking at his look. He did this a lot too, and I think that may be like a nerve thing, because even my godson do that. You know, they be having them that hairstyle. He was doing that a lot, but for the most part he didn't turn around. The lawyer did get permission from the judge to grant the handcuffs off of Rondo, so they did take it off. The judge, it was a male judge. So let me see. When the judge started talking, okay, he started saying that normally, because count 1 is Controlled Substance Act, right? Which carries 10 years or more. Normally, okay, the defendant will be detained, okay? What happens, though, is that for those charges, it's kind of similar to my people that follow me for the Melly thing, how I told y'all about the Arthur hearing, where when you have a charge that normally would have no bond, you will have to present your case for an Arthur hearing, and then the judge will make a decision. It's kind of like similar to that, what happened at the bond hearing, because the judge originally said the defense had the burden of providing substantial rebuttal to why Quando Rondo should not be held in detention until trial. Okay, so for those who missed that part, you know, it falls on the defense at first, right? But once you start providing the information, I'm gonna go through it for Quando Rondo case, then at some point the burden will shift to the prosecution, and that's what happened in this case. Okay, so starting off at court, the burden was on the defense. Okay, the defense called in. Hold on, let me not skip that. The government ground for detention was flight, risk of flight, and danger to the community. So those was the two people. Quando Rondo should be home now. Like, Quando Rondo should have got out last night. So I will say that, because Timothy asked said Quando is going to be home for Christmas. He should already be home. He should have got out last night. Again, he should have. Okay, is is as far as when I left the court, he was supposed to like be getting out within a couple hours. But those was the grounds for detention: risk of flight and danger to the community. And we'll get into all that. Okay. The defense, first and foremost, called out before they even got into the whole arguments and whatnot, said that the pretrial service report had errors. Okay. And I'm not even gonna lie, y'all know I ran Quando Rondo rap sheet some months ago. I even gave him a certificate. Not like technically gave him a certificate. Y'all know I posted a certificate. So some of the errors that defense called out, I actually was aware of because I done ran this paperwork before. So I'm not sure why the government had that mixed up on the pretrial, but it could have just been a user error. But I was over there in the gallery like, yep, that is true. Thinking to myself, I wasn't saying it out loud. But okay, so it said that the PSR includes on page 3 to 4 a list of 18 offenses. Contends he was indicted. However, it's a case on there that had multiple charges, right? Which is a true case. However, it was downgraded to a misdemeanor. It wasn't felony. Originally, he was charged with felonies. However, it was downsized to a misdemeanor because, for those who aren't aware, that's the one he got the obstruction of justice, the battery, and the aggravated assault charges. Okay, in South Carolina, and it got downsized, so he only got obstruction of justice charges with that one, and that was in 2017. Also, they brought up the fact that one of the charges, although he was charged once he was 18, the incident happened when he was 17, right? So they put that on the record also. Then it says on page 5, they had probation violation. Now, Again, in my video that's on YouTube now from months ago, I speak on this charge, and it's the afraid charge. I broke it down, said what afraid meaning fight, and that it was dismissed. And because it was dismissed, his probation violation was dismissed too, because it's no violation at that point. So, and the judge actually dismissed it. So they brought that up and they put that as Exhibit 13. All right, so both sides had 13 exhibits that they wanted to enter to the record. The prosecution objected one exhibit on the defense side, which was Exhibit 12. The defense was like, cool, we wasn't going to show that anyway. So technically, in the end, the defense had 12 exhibits and the government had 13 exhibits, okay? They also brought up the fact on the PSR, okay? Now, again, for those who don't know, okay, what that is, pretrial report, basically to say, hey, this is all that they have done criminally in their, life, and this is what we need to use towards making a decision on sentencing and all that, okay? That's my version of how, you can break it down how you want, but that's how I look at it, okay? They brought up a failure to appear, however, they were unable to find it. And they said that's on page 4 of the PSR from September 5th, 2017. I know when I ran it, I didn't find nothing like that. I wasn't looking for it per se, but that wasn't one of the things that popped up for me. So again, the judge at that point said the defense has the burden of perception at this point. So it's up to them now to prove how Quando Rondo is not a risk of flight, nor is he a danger to the community. Okay. So the first witness that came up was Mr. Bird, who is the uncle of Quando Rondo, who is the ex-husband of Quando Rondo's aunt. So, he had been around for a long time. And I'm going to be honest, okay? I said it before this, right? That, again, you can tell, well, I could tell, I don't know. Let me speak for me. I can tell Quando Rondo has been through some shit without even knowing exactly what Quando Rondo has been through. Because for some reason, he's just relatable in his music. Like, I just recently started listening to him maybe a year ago. And I actually like his music. Y'all know I like the whine and crying rapper sound. But I actually like his music. And I actually listen to his music. And you can tell that he got a testimony for real in him. And I said it before. When he caught when they tried to violate him a couple months ago, I told y'all, like, hell, when you're dealing with so much, he probably medicate. I said it, but that's what I said then. After sitting through this hearing yesterday, it's even more impacted to me that that's this dude been through a lot. And I'm gonna go through, I ain't gonna go into like all details because we'll be here all day. Okay. But he's relatable. He's relatable, at least to me. Because I've been through similar situations. So let's get into it. So the uncle says that he has known Quando Rondo since he was 6 years old. Say that Rondo was in foster care, okay, at one point. Let me see what y'all saying. They wanted to ban him from the county, but now he's not a danger to the community. So this is the thing. The government / state, because this is the same investigation, y'all. So this is not something new. This is the same. Basically, the feds is coming in on the state case that he got charged with back in June. Okay. They're still saying he's a danger to the community. However, the pieces, the exhibits, the 13 exhibits that they provided, we're going to get into it, and King Von shooting is part of it. So again, when it comes to saying someone is a danger to the community, it's certain bases you have to provide. And if the defense is good, and again, Quando Rondo defense is good, okay? Because they was every corner, they was on the prosecution. Now, I'm not going to take away from the prosecution. They was good too. The judge, even in the end, said on certain points, it was a neutral way. He couldn't choose one or the other. But and I'm going to say it's federal. I don't know how the state works, but because the judge actually broke down federally. Federally, it's 4 components they have to go over to determine bond. And I think a lot of people don't know that. It's 4 components. And it's based on the arguments that's provided or the evidence that's provided during the hearing for components. But like I said, we're going to get to that in a minute. But yeah, it has like, you know, the prosecution can say whatever they want. If the defense don't really, you know, knuckle up, you get what I'm saying? And then guess what? The prosecution will win. But the defense was ready to play ball, okay? Quando, Rondo like that little baby. And you know what? Hold on, y'all. I got to sneeze. Just give me 1 second. I'm back. I don't slid. These damn bedroom shoes is deadly. Okay. All right. So, all right. Yeah. So, and then another thing about danger to community. I mean, it's a few people I feel is a danger to the community. However, if you don't prove, you know, based on your evidence you're presenting when it comes to the court, I mean, you can't, anybody can say somebody's a danger to the community. But I'm gonna get into what they said is a danger to the community, or how they portrayed him to be a danger to the community. Now, I do want to, again, starting off at the hearing, the burden was on the defense. So a lot of the stuff I'm about to get into now is going to be from the defense side because the burden was on them at that point. So the uncle goes into saying how Quando Rondo was in foster care. He lost touch with his family, his mom's side of the family. He was sentenced to the youth detention, which I believe is the equivalent of DJJ, like what we call it here, a juvenile Department of Juvenile Justice. He will bounce around from house to house when he did come back around. So he really didn't have a lot of stability. He spends a lot of time, or spent a lot of time in his earlier, before we know him as a Quando Rondo now, at his uncle's house recording in his house. Okay, not in the studio, but in the house. That's how he started, right? Like I said, I ain't gonna go in everything. I'm just trying to go into like the stuff that probably would make sense. They did bring up the fact, well, the defense did ask, like, hey, do you have a criminal background? Because you already know the defense, I mean, the prosecution's gonna come in if it is, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like Dirt stopped his career and then pushed him back out into the street. Now, I will say Dirt wasn't mentioned at all, but they do get into some issues that he has been having. And I mean, it's not no secret what the issue started after the murder of King Von. But like I said, they're going to talk about it and we're going to get there. All right. So during this time, again, Quando Rondo is still looking focused. Like I said, I was eyeing what he was doing during the whole time, and he was looking focused. He was looking forward. A few times I saw him like write something down. I will see him whisper to his lawyer. So he was definitely engaged. Okay. Now, when the government crossed this witness, they brought up the friend of Rondo's that was killed in California. And at that point, that was the first time at this point in the trial, in the hearing, that I saw emotion, like real, like sad emotion on Quando Rondo's face. Because he looked up and he rolled his eyes at that point when they mentioned his friend that was killed in California. They brought up a shooting that happened in Blackshear where 100 rounds was shot and 2 of Quando Rondo's friends were shot. They also then brought up the fact of King Von's murder and Timothy Lee's, aka Lil Tim. The prosecution brought up these, right? And they asked the uncle, like, hey, did he ever talk to you about this incident, this incident, this incident? The uncle said the only situation that he ever actually had a detailed conversation about was the King Von murder, and said that Rondo was very upset over it, didn't have nothing to do with it. They approached him. Okay. the government then tied in the fact that Quando Rondo was present at least 3 shootings. So, like I said, where his friend got killed in California, the Blackshear shooting, and King Von murder. So the prosecution, those are the 3 events as of now that they're trying to say makes Quando Rondo a danger to the community. Okay. And okay, the defense does come back to say, hey, every incident you just named, Quando Rondo was the victim. He wasn't the aggressor in any of those 3 situations. So let's pause and let me give y'all my opinion on it. I agree that the prosecution probably should have came a little stronger with using those as the basis of the danger to the community, because even if he is the target of violence, that's not on him, it's on whoever's targeting him. Now, if I was working on the prosecution side, I probably would have, provided more background that led up to the events to show the danger. Like, for example, and I'm just going to go off of what's on the internet for the King Von thing, right? Maybe show the fact that it was a back and forth on, the internet between the two, and that it's started escalating. You know what I'm saying? Like, show how that is. But by just saying, oh, he was present when, rapper King Von was killed and his friend is the one who shot and killed him, that's not enough to show that Quando Rondo is a danger. Because, again, Quando Rondo didn't shoot that night from what we know, so I don't think they had really a good stance on that. Just my opinion. Now, back to the notes. So, Quando Rondo has been under wiretap since April 2023, okay? And they brought up a phone call to the uncle about a situation that happened at Home Depot, okay? The uncle said, yes, I recall that. I got jumped, knocked out by getting hit in the head by some people, that approached me. The prosecution said, why did you call Rondo, right? And he said that he was calling everybody, that could come sit with him because the police came and said they couldn't do nothing and they left. And he said he was worried that these people was going to come back. So he called everybody. However, of course, the prosecution, I don't know who he called, but the prosecution only brought up the fact that he called Quando Rondo. And that was their segue to say, Quando Rondo is known to be a dangerous person. That's why his uncle called him. That was the basis of what they was trying to portray there. All right. So the next witness was Quando Rondo's aunt Tess. She's a sweet woman too. Shout out to her. I actually had a brief conversation with her. But yeah, so his aunt took the stand next, which is his mother's sister. Okay. She went into more detail about, his upbringing. So I'm gonna go a little bit more into detail about him growing up. And I'm talking like baby Quando, not like teenage Quando. Like his issues or his trauma started when he was a baby. And again, kids are innocent, baby are innocent. You can't, it's not on them for what happened. So she does get emotional when talking about it. And she said that Quando Rondo was removed from the family to foster care when he was about two-ish. Said that, and this is where she got emotional. She said she was so young. She was only 17. They were living in the projects where it was only a set amount of people that can live in the house. Quando and his brother, so it was two kids. They just didn't have they couldn't add them to live there. You know what I'm saying? It was already 9 people living there. So they ended up going to foster care. Now, at this point, I looked over to see what Quando Rondo was doing, and he was just doing like this. He was massaging his temple. Now, personally, when you start getting into the trauma of your childhood, or even when somebody else is talking about it, it could be, emotional, or it could be upsetting, because at the end of the day, everybody have their own coping mechanisms. And if you choose to cope with it by not coping with it, it could be intense to listen to. So they ask about Quando Rondo's dad, and the aunt says that he's basically part of the reason why Quando Rondo was taken, but he ultimately went to prison for 13 years. She does speak on Quando Rondo's mom, stating that she is dealing with mental issues like depression, things like that, and started having a drug addiction, which she currently still is fighting a drug addiction now. So she continues to say he's playing Good Morning, Malik. That Quando Rondo spent 2 years in foster care and then was adopted by his great aunt on his dad's side. His great aunt kept him away from his mom's side, and she ultimately ended up mistreating Quando Rondo. And I ain't gonna lie, that one hit home. Hearing that somebody went through that, it got so bad that he stopped going to school in 6th grade because the great aunt, and I'm saying allegedly because this is based off the testimony of his aunt now, not my testimony, her testimony, that the great aunt didn't want nobody finding out about the mistreatment that he was going through. Also said that she would call the police on him, and that's what ultimately got him into YDC, because the aunt was like, you know what, I don't want you living here. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want you over there with them people either. So I want you in jail. So we'll just call and, say all types of stories again. I can't tell you really what's what, but I'm just telling you what they said in court. Okay. They ultimately got to the point that things really got wicked, and I call it wicked because anytime you mistreating a child is wicked. Good morning, Arthur. Good morning, Boredom. Is when the payment stopped. So the great aunt was getting paid allegedly by the state to take care of Quando Rondo. When those payments stopped, that's when she didn't give a fuck no more. Okay? I mean, summary. That's just what they're saying. She didn't care anymore. Okay? So he went to youth detention for 2 years in Americas. I think that's how you pronounce it, Americas. He came back to Savannah in 2017, and that's when his music career started. She goes on to say that Quando Rondo worked one job at Checkers, and that was briefly, okay? She said it didn't even last long to even have a lot of story to go with it. She said that their family, and she speaks on the mom side of the family, are very supportive, and they have built a community around him for support, which includes his actual mom, a great aunt, their grandmother, and the uncle that also was a character witness. Okay. So one thing that was interesting to me was that Quando Rondo actually started doing music in youth detention center, and that's how he survived. Okay. In the youth detention center, he would just come up with raps and stuff, and people would give him commissary. So he really, and they said it themselves, they didn't have money. They didn't have, they really was broke for real. And I'm saying it like that because, again, people don't like to put that out, that they, a lot of people like, oh, we had money or street money. They was clear they ain't had no money. You know what I'm saying? He had to fend for himself while in juvenile hall. Another thing she brought up, because they asked, well, how did his music career, take flight? And they said his 8-year-old cousin, right, helped him create his IG account. And they just start posting clips. Because, again, she said, hey, we ain't have no money to put behind him. We just really was just putting it out there. At some point, he even felt like it wasn't going to take off like that. What's next? So she does say that The Game from California was the first rapper to reply, because she said they would just make videos and send them to different rappers. And said The Game was the first rapper to reply. She didn't go into details about what did he say or whatever, but she did mention that The Game was the first rapper to apply. So they did bring up the fact of the shooting again of his friend in California. The aunt said that yes, she had spoken to him about it, but he really doesn't know what happened. And she said she wasn't about to unpack it because that's traumatic. And for those who have seen the clip, I mean, even without knowing what's what, Rondo definitely was distraught in the clip. He was screaming. Like, we all heard, he even said, you know, I think it was at a song or an interview about, he said he was getting backlash from people like picking on him for screaming like that and going through that situation when they brought his friend out the car. So, you know, that's on the internet. We all saw that part. Said he took it very hard. They brought up Vaughn shooting, and the aunt said he was the victim. He was attacked. The video is on social media. So they, at that point, now they made it aware to the judge, like, it's a video of the situation. And she described, again, the situation where he had his hands in his pocket. He was approached by a group of people, including King Von, and he was hit. So, and she said this is her knowledge based off watching the video. They get into his charity attributes, saying that he gives back to his community, especially kids. Said one thing about it, he didn't have much of nothing growing up, shoes and stuff like that. So he always does what he needs to do for kids in the community to make sure they have shoes, make sure they have clothes. Say Rondo paid a donation to an elderly home that was going to be out of business due to like something with their nonprofit status or something. Said he donated to a restaurant called Grits and Gravy. Paid for food for everybody, homeless people, even if he wasn't home, if you want second. So, you know, came across like that. Now, on government's cross, the first thing they say, hey, do you recall a conversation with Quando Rondo where he was saying that the movers used to buy 30s from him? The aunt said, I don't recall. Can you refresh my memory? But they didn't play any calls to that. They just put it on the record. Then they asked them about an address on East 39th Street. And they said, have you went there to pick up money? Like, that's literally how they said it. Like, you went there to pick up money. The aunt clarified, I went there to retrieve money from multiple people to pay for a surprise party that we were throwing for Quando Rondo. And I'll get into the details of why that tie-in is important for the prosecution in a few. They bring up her son. So Quando Rondo's aunt's son that's currently in jail. And they was asking her about conversations and then that she had with him or whatever. And then she was like, hey, you hear a bunch of praying going on the calls and all that. Then they brought up, they brought up who did she go get money from that address? She said a lot of people, but she remembered one guy named Trench. One thing about Trench is a co-defendant. We're going to get more into him in a little while, but he's a co-defendant in this situation. So that was an important tie-in again for the prosecution. All right, so they bring up ABG video. I'm not sure if y'all know ABG. I'll just bring up the video. I'm not going to play it, though. It came out 5 years ago. All right, so this is ABG video for those who don't know, okay? And the person in that screen right there is the friend that was killed in California, but this is ABG. They asked her if she is familiar with this video and this song. She said yes. This is what pushed him into who we know now as an artist. So the prosecution then came up, okay, and said, well, what is OTM or only the mob? She said, I don't know. So they brought up the fact, well, in this same video, it's a person with a blue Scully on or Pooh Shiesty thing, right? That has OTM on. She's like, oh, I never paid attention. And I'm going to be honest. Now, everybody can say she paid attention, but I'm going to be real. Again, I'm a big Harry Potter fan. And I can tell you, I can watch that movie over and over, and I can still peep something new every time. So, hey, it's really up to perception at that point. But, okay. So, the prosecution then comes in and say, well, it's a street game that is around the 33rd. I don't know if it's 33rd Ave. I didn't catch that part, but 33rd and Deer Street. And she said, oh, I wouldn't know. I don't keep up with that. Then it says, she was asked, who is 1100? She said, I don't know. They said, that's another gang in Savannah. She said, well, I wouldn't know. Then they brought up Section 8 Boys. And she said, oh, that's a music group. I'm familiar with the music group. And then he was like, so it's not a street gang? She said, I don't know about no street gang, but I know it's a music group. They do music. So again, the prosecution did what they were supposed to do. They was trying to tie it in that way. So the prosecutor said, well, you never heard that these two groups, whether it's 1100 and Section 8 Boys, are snitching on Quando Rondo. She said, no, like, I don't know nothing about that. All right. So then the next part is they brought up the fact that on April 23rd, a search warrant was issued for that address I told y'all on, what was it, East 39th Street. And that Trench, that name I just told you, was found there with drugs and guns. So that was a tie-in why it was so important for them to say, hey, didn't you go there to pick up money? Oh, you went there and got money from Trench? That was the tie-in, okay, to the whole conspiracy that they were trying to tie in with the aunt while she was on stand. Now, at that point, which was 11:35, so an hour after court started, the judge paused before the next witness and said, the burden is now shifted to the prosecution. Based on the two witnesses that has done character references, it was a sufficient rebuttal on the grounds of detention. So now it's on the prosecution. Okay. So, like I said, it's only one witness the prosecution called, which was the agent. It was like Agent Richard Dashels or some shit like that. I didn't write it right, so I'm not like, it's something with a D. All right. And he's a drug task force agent. Okay. At this point, they played multiple phone calls. They played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so in a nutshell, most of their exhibits, remember I told you they had 13 exhibits? Most of their exhibits was phone calls from the wiretap. Okay. Exhibit 13 was a screenshot of Duck the Feds video. For those who haven't seen it, let me see. I'm gonna get into the phone calls a little bit, but hold on. I hear about moving around probably about 10. Oh shit, it started playing. All right. So this is the Duck the Feds thing 3 weeks ago, okay? And in particular, they wanted to focus in on the spelling of duck, okay? So exhibit 13, hold on, I think exhibit 13 was the Duck the Feds. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah. Exhibit 13 was a Duck the Feds. Exhibit 12 was call recording from a jail call. And then the other 11 was wiretap conversations, okay? Y'all want me getting into all that? The wiretaps and all that? I don't know. We ain't got to. Y'all want me to talk about it? Or y'all just want me to talk about the important ones that, like, was trying to... Y'all let me know in the chat. Y'all want me to talk about it? No. I'm going to keep going. If I see somebody say, yeah, we'll come back. But okay, so, okay, that's cross. So basically, they were showing, you know, why he ties into the conspiracy and all that with the conversation. Like I said, during the first phone call, the fucking power went out. So from 11:55 a.m. to 1:01 p.m., it was no power. And we was just sitting around. And when there's no power, there's no air, it's no nothing. We went outside for a minute, and then they tried not to let us come back in because, again, the metal detectors wasn't working, but they just wound us down because, again, Savannah court is small. I mean, we was the only people in there, like, so they just made a decision to go ahead and let us come in. I will say this, okay, about the wiretaps. This is something, okay, that I took from everything, okay? And again, I can't tell you who's a part of what, but, okay, because even from, let me just speak on personally. When shit happens, first thing people do is want to pick up the phone and talk. Whether you're involved in it or not, you just want to pick up the phone like, yo, you heard Bobo and them got picked up, you know what I'm saying? Or damn, okay? So this is what I took from it. And I want to just share it with my viewers because some of my viewers might be in that life or associated with the life, okay? If somebody that you have direct communication with in some way, form, or fashion, whether you include it in the illegal or not, get picked up by the feds or picked up by police, period, don't get your ass on the phone to talk about it, okay? Do not. In your mind, you need to assume your fucking phone is tapped, okay? And I'm going to use this particular phone call because they tried to fry his ass on his bond hearing because of some shit he said on it. And it wasn't like he was saying no real incriminating shit. It's just the wording he used could be put together to like push it, right? All right. Quando, allegedly, they say it's Quando. That's, you know, they say it's Quando, okay? They played this call in court. Give me a second. Let me find what call it was to be exact. Call 895. Yes. Call 895, okay? During this call, they were talking about Trench, which is, again, the guy I told y'all that got picked up. He's a co-defendant on the Fed case. To be exact, he got picked up with 461 grams of fentanyl and bangers. They were saying bangers a lot, but guns, right? So this conversation was about that. And again, Rondo is just like, this shit crazy. You know, like the fuck. And the other dude that he was talking to was like, why the fuck did he have all that shit just sitting around? You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, the other dude was like, shit, that's a 924C. That's 10 years or better. You know, they normal conversation, you know, they was getting into. They was saying, well, how this? And then, you know, Quando was allegedly, Quando was saying, oh, well, you know, jump out some name, pulling up on bikes now. They scared to drive, you know, stuff like that. And then the other dude's like, well, you got to get in and get out. You know what I'm saying? And Quando Rondo like, man, I hear it's a 53-man indictment coming. That shit got my nerves bad. And then the other dude like, man, you know some niggas gonna tell. And then Quando Rondo allegedly said, yeah, you know these niggas rats for real. And he brought up the fact that some dude told him everybody telling on him. Okay? Now, again, you can look at it like people just mention your name because you hot or whatever. But at the same time, just like the prosecution did, they use that as an admission of guilt. Because what is these people going to be telling on you for if you ain't got nothing to do with it? So I say that I took from what I heard is, yo, if somebody you associated with get hit, get the fuck off the phone. Don't go buy a new phone, because one thing about it, so how they labeled the phones, it was like Target phone 1, Target phone 2. So at bond hearing, they said that Quando Rondo phone was Target phone 5 and Target phone 9. They asked the agent, at some point did Target phone 5 go dark? They said yeah, and that's when Target phone 9 came into play. So however or whatever, they didn't say how they got the new Target phone number. Listen, stay the fuck off the phone. If somebody you know, okay, get the fuck off the phone. Don't get no new phone, none of that shit. Get the fuck off the phone. Your shit is tapped, because not only is your shit tapped, everybody y'all hang with shit tapped. Like, to be real, because they had, again, and one of the dudes they mentioned actually be in almost every Quando Rondo video. That's one of his co-defendants. They got his phone tapped. So it's not just like a one-way situation. They tap everybody's phone. So and again, this is just my interpretation of what I was hearing and how it was getting put together. Get the fuck off the phone. Don't get no new phone. Get the fuck off the phone. Don't get on the phone wanting to talk about the situation, because again, he ain't say nothing to say really that he was in some shit. But by him saying again, they telling on me, the prosecution is using that. Boom. Another thing, okay? I want to just, again, lingo, okay? Lingo, y'all. They was clear multiple times. The government said, hey, you got a right to say what you want in your music. You got a right. The title is freedom of speech. Like, they say that clear. However, y'all, the twist of that, it can be used against you. You got a right to put it out. That's they said, oh, you got a right to put it out. We can't tell you can't. Speak on, brother. Speak on. However, they're going to use that shit later. For sure. Okay? So, another call they play, this is what he says. He said, I'm paranoid. No folks locked a bunch of my partners up. Okay? Partners, like slang, partners, right? Now, to me, I took it as, when I heard it, they locking a lot of your friends up, your homies up. That's what I took. Shit, the fucking prosecution, okay? Okay, the damn prosecution said partners, like business partners. Like, that's the way they said, that bitch in there. They said that was him saying no was his business partners. Y'all be careful about the lingo, for real. Because again, slang partners do mean homies, friends, whatever. But partners mean partners too. So the prosecution uses it as the same. That's they in business together. All right. Next. Okay, so the next two calls I'm gonna talk about is what they try to use for the danger to the community. Okay. They use the fact that at one point, Quando Rondo received a call from somebody talking about 7 perks. Yeah, Percocets. Okay. They also used a call where Quando Rondo was at the movies, got a call and say, yo, it's 10 ops in here deep as fuck. I need a banger. Like I said, they say banger. And according to the FBI agent, that means guns. Okay. That's what I'm going. That's what it means. Okay. So, the 7 perks, the banger at the movies. And then what was the third one? What was the third one? Oh, the third one was a conversation where he was talking to his homie, and he was basically breaking down what a blue is. For those who don't know what a blue is, okay, it's a fake perk. It's a perk 30. Okay, it's fentanyl. Okay, now again, the whole conversation, this specific conversation, he telling dude like, you wilding, like what the fuck is you? You know what I'm saying? Hold on, I mixed up 2 calls. He was talking to his manager on this call. Okay, so the call about the blues and the perk 30s, he's talking to his manager. Let me correct it. Talk to his manager. His manager is a character witness too. So, but he's telling his manager like, yo, no perk 30s is fake perks. Like they call blues on the street. Like he's breaking down what it's called. He's saying, yo, I don't want no nigga popping no perk 30s around me. That shit that shit hard to shake. people be doing the diet right there. You don't need him around you. So ultimately, that's what he's saying. He said, yo, you need to stay away from that situation. But the prosecution uses it as like how you know, you know what I'm saying, all the ins and the outs, what blues is called, and how you know what a perk 30 do. Like, that's how they used it to like say that he was engaging in drugs, right? Also, another call was him talking to somebody, and I guess they was trying to connect with somebody on some drugs. And again, Quando Rondo don't even say nothing about like, I'm doing this. He's saying, yo, you know your ass be reckless. You don't need to go fucking with nobody, knowing damn well you gonna fuck up. And then your ass gonna be in some shit. Them people gonna lay your ass out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's basically, he was like schooling them. Like, yo, ain't nobody playing with no fucking weight. Ain't nobody gonna front you shit and not want nothing back. Like, that's what he was saying. He was just breaking it down. Now, again, in fairness, the prosecution put it out there like, obviously, you don't have business in this type of shit because you knew what's what. I get it. Yeah. I mean, that's a good argument, right? The defense basically came in like, hey, he trying to help his fellow homie out. Like, yo, stay away from them people. I don't even fuck with them people. Because he does say on the call, I don't even fuck with them people. But, you know what I'm saying? It's one of, like I said, it's one of those things that your words can be used either way, against you or for you. It just depends on how good the argument is. Oh, another thing, like I said, lingo, y'all, be careful with lingo. On one of the calls, Quando Rondo says, such and such pulled out a gun again, flatline his ass. The prosecution is saying, hey, he put a hit on somebody. He's a danger to the community. He just put a hit. We heard it, right? The defense is like, that's not putting no hit on nobody. You know what I'm saying? That's just saying, hey, he's upset that the dude pulled out a gun, right? Now, my interpretation of it was, just me personally, was that, all right, yeah, he want to play and pull out a gun. Shit, do what you got to do. Nigga put a gun out on you. Care that's my homie or not. That's what I took from it. And the judge, to be honest, kind of was in the middle, because he said, but we're going to get into it in a minute, you know, he was neutral on that one. He can't, you know, both kind of made a good argument. Another call was one of his co-defendants calling him saying, yo, I'm pulling up. Don't shoot at the car. Okay? I'm pulling up. Don't shoot at the car. The prosecution is like, yo, he called Quando Rondo because Quando Rondo is the leader. So that's who can ensure no shots was going to be fired. And that makes him a danger to the community. Because why the hell is one of your friends pulling up saying, hey, don't shoot at the car? Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. Y'all can kind of take it for what it is. I mean, listen, I don't do pop-ups at my house at all. I don't care who the fuck you is. Don't pop up at my house. Don't come playing around in my yard. Because once you get on that camera and you don't look familiar, stand your fucking ground in full effect. Okay? Is in full effect. Now, I will have like one of my homegirls about to pull up and they ain't in their car. They'll call and say, hey, I'm riding with such and such. We in whatever. I'm about to pull up. I mean, they ain't never said don't shoot, but you know, I mean, they come to let me know, like, I'm in this car. So, I mean, me personally, I didn't see that as literally like they got snipers on the roof, right? But at the same time, when we put in context is Quando Rondo, and again, all these acts of violence, right? That even the fucking state of Georgia put in place, saying that, you know, every time he's somewhere, motherfuckers start shooting at him. I mean, is it too far-fetched to think he got people like waiting? Like, I mean, his life is in danger, to be honest. Like, if you really want to break it down, it's plenty of hell. They look on, because YouTube was mentioned 1,000 times in this motherfucking hearing. They put on YouTube all the time. Hell, I just saw a video a couple days ago saying that Quando Rondo life was in danger over the King Von thing. So again, hey, don't think these YouTube videos don't be watched for real. Like, for real. Don't think that shit don't be watched. All right, the movie situation. So like I said, he called and said, yo, I need a banker. There's 10 ops in here. They called back because it was like call 9, call 10, call 11. They called back like, yo, a 9 on the way. Yo, a Drake on the way. And the prosecution used it to their advantage by saying, yo, that shows leadership. They told him, yo, hold on, it's on the way. And it was on the way. The defense came in, again, this is why I said he got a good defense team. The defense came in like, hey, agent such and such, because I can't remember what his name was, something with a D. Agent such and such, was there any reports of shots fired at a movie theater that night? Because your wiretaps are in real time, correct? The agent said, yeah. So he was like, was there any shots fired calls? Was it any fight calls? Was it any type of violence call? He said no. All right. Another thing that went into play with the defense was when they cross-examined the agent, they asked them, you went to his aunt's house. You went to his house, which we have established as his two main residences. Did you find guns or drugs? No. Do you have any evidence showing that Quando Rondo sold sold, had possession of drugs, guns, or trackers, right? Because those who are going to be watching this case, the trackers is very important, okay? Or trackers, say no. So, I mean, boom. But the prosecution came back on the good one. They're like, yo, he ain't got to touch, sell, none of that. It's a conspiracy. He just got to agree to be a part of it in some way, and he's still going down. He's not charged with possession of no drugs. He's not charged with selling no drugs. He's charged with being part of the conspiracy. But the defense, okay? But the defense, I'm just saying, came back good. Let me see. He said that because they know the enemies pull up and do drive-by. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. And again, my people do it to me. Or even if I'm going somewhere, I'm like, yo, I'm in, Mr. Truth car. Oh, I'm in this car. Like, I mean, if you don't know the car, like, that's just how it goes. What board was that? But yeah, so hold on, where was I? Damn, I lost train of thought. What was I talking about just now? Oh, the defense came back with this, like, well, where's the evidence? You played all these calls, but where's the evidence that he's part of the conspiracy? And I'm gonna be honest, that was probably the wiggle room. That was probably the wiggle room that judge needed, okay? Because to be real, what they portrayed or what they presented, not saying this is their whole case, because it's by far not their whole case, but what they presented, it really didn't show conspiracy. They did try to tie in the gang stuff by saying his last video, ducked feds, took out the K and just put a C, showing, the gang ties. Now, I mean, to be honest, let's just be real. Quando Rondo talk about Crip stuff all the time. I mean, they had a plethora of information for that. But they chose to use duck feds. I mean, and I think they used it because it's the most recent thing, because it was just done a couple weeks ago. And they're saying, like, see, even now, he's still using it. Now, to me, it could be a habit. Just, used to doing that. I mean, just to be real, that's an argument. Not saying it's valid, but it's an argument to say it's a, it's a habit. You're so used to all these years doing gang lingo and gang stuff, and not saying that you're actively, in a gang, but, that could be an argument. There's a lot of people that does still say gang shit that's not per se a gang member, they're civilian, in their words, but, it is what it is. Okay. Whew. It's a lot. It's a lot, and I ain't even done yet. All right, so hold on. Let me see. Oh, now this part I didn't like, okay? The prosecution, so it went from the defense presenting, and then when the burden shifted, the prosecution, and when all the witnesses was done, then they went to the arguments, basically your closing arguments, right? The prosecution said this, and it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and it just shows how stereotype rappers are. And don't get me wrong, some of them do be talking too fucking much on these songs, but the prosecution said oh, this will boost his career being arrested for this. The fuck? Like, and it's just like, the fuck? You know what I'm saying? The fuck? Like, it's just like, what the fuck is that? Like, why would somebody really want a Rico at, not a Rico, I mean, I say that, not a Rico, a Fed case at that? Who the fuck want to get put in the Feds just to boost some fucking sales? You know what I'm saying? Like, I look and it was all on my face. I'm like, the fuck? Even as a manager, oh, wouldn't he make you more money getting arrested, going to jail, even if it's, as long as it's not for a long time? The fuck? So that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I ain't gonna lie. I was looking at the back of that bald head like, sir, is you really saying this shit right now? Like, for real, is you really saying this right now? Oh, another thing too, they do speak to the manager about his bookings have went down. Like, his in-person bookings have went down because of the whole King Von situation and because, like, violence, you know what I'm saying? And you know what? That's what his manager said. It could end his career, like, for real. So, yeah, I didn't like that part. Like I said, I felt like the prosecution was doing a good job. But when he said that, I'm just looking like, you out of bounds for that. And he was dead ass serious when he said it. Like, you out of bounds for that. Okay. I think that's about it. Like I said, it's a lot of, y'all know I'm very detailed in my notes, but I think I did a great summary without just like verbatim going through every note. Now let's talk about the bond, because I saw a lot of people, even people that shared my stuff, shout out to y'all, that was saying like, oh, he's telling, listen, and I'll be honest, I sat there for 5 hours and no time was anything mentioned about Quando Rondo telling at all. And to be honest, he's probably one of the ones I probably definitely will feel, in my opinion, ain't gonna be no paperwork saying he told on shit. But that's just my opinion. But as far as what I heard and saw in court, they did not mention anything about him telling. I went through the process, okay, of what happened at the bond hearing. Okay. If you have a good lawyer, okay, and I'm not saying it has to be a paid lawyer, public defender, because some public defenders be good. But if you have a good lawyer that's gonna get in the paint with the prosecution, you too can receive a bond. Okay. Now, despite what you may think, Quando Rondo only has 2 convictions. And I went over that months ago, so the video is already out. Only 2 convictions, okay? So he doesn't have a bad rap sheet. He is a felon, okay? He is a felon. I went over that too a couple months ago. However, he's not being charged with no weapon charges. Hell, he's not even being charged with like actually having drugs and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So again, people be like, "Oh, you got a bond on feds?" You telling? That's not what the fuck that means at all. So let's just start with the 100,000 unsecured. Again, this is the same case he's already indicted on statewide. He's out on bond for 100,000 on the state case, which is the same fucking investigation. Okay. So with that being said, why would he need to pay more money? He hasn't got charged with nothing new. This is all the charges or all the situations from June 2023 that Chatham County put on him. It's the same shit that's going on the Fed case. Okay. Just FYI, it's the same thing. Nothing is new. Okay, that's why he got the unsecured bond. Okay. Now, as far as granting bond, and again, shout out to the judge, because the judge was very informative. Because even for me, like, I never really heard it from a federal level how they come to the decision for bond. This is why I like coming in person to the court for sure. Latrice, good morning. So, Bail Reform Act of 1984. So anybody can go look it up. I believe it's 1984. Okay. But it's definitely the Bail Reform Act. Okay. 3142. The judge said it's 4 grounds that they have to consider when making their decision on bail or bond, right? 1 is nature of offense, and this is just my summary of it. Y'all have to look into it for more detail. 2, weight of evidence. 3, multifactorial section. 4, nature of seriousness to person or community. Okay. So the first one, nature of defense, is a win for the prosecution. Okay. No, hold on. Nature of defense. Is it a win for them? Damn, I probably should put more in there. Damn, what was it? Because I put yes. So I'm trying to remember, was it a yes for the defense or yes for the prosecution? I don't remember. It got to be, hold on. 101. Okay. It got to be for the defense. The defense had to win that one. Because I'm like, the fuck? Hold on, let me think about that one. Damn, I need to get better with the notes. I was tired at this point. Okay, this was like 4 something. Let me figure out why did I put yes next to that. I don't know if the yes is for the defense or yes is for the prosecution. I want to say it got to be the prosecution. Because I think at that point when they said it, when the judge was talking about it, I was like, shit, he ain't getting out. That's what I was thinking in my head. So I don't know why I did that. Yes, the Fed picked up the same investigation, but the state case is still open right now. But yes. All right. I don't know. I need to get better. Next time I got to get better with why the fuck I just put yes. But anyway, so nature of defense. I really think the prosecution had that one. But weight of evidence. They said the agent testimony and phone call is damning for sure. However, the context of those phone calls and the agent testimony, Kat, good morning, went into the defendant's favor. So that one is neutral. Okay. So meaning both of them, if I basically how I did in my notes, they both got a point for that one. The multifactorial section is about community ties, employment, like that type of thing. And the defense got that one because they got the character witnesses and stuff like that. The next one is the nature of seriousness to a person or community. With that one, to be honest, the prosecution, okay, did a great job with that. But like I told y'all, because the defense came on their neck and put that victim part onto it, like again, they used King Von shooting. Okay. The defense came in and said, hey, he was a victim in that. The witness said, hey, it's a video showing that he was minding his own business and he was confronted. The Black Shear shooting. Hey, 101 rounds was shot at him. He didn't shoot 101 rounds at them. So that there made that one again neutral. Now, a thing that the judge did say was that his biggest concern was exhibit 9 and 10. Okay. And the exhibits 9 and 10 was the phone call from the movies and the 7 perks. And the reason why that stood out the most out of everything the prosecution put in place, because they said his daughter was in the facility of it. His daughter was at the home where the 7 perks was, and his daughter was at the movies. Okay. So that there was the most damning. That could have had his ass sitting in jail. Okay. However, like I said, 4 components. So if we go off my yeses meaning the defense, okay. Okay. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 compared to 1, 2. So yeah. So basically, the defense had at least 3 out of 4, and the prosecution had 2 out of 4 because the judge did say the government did not meet their burden. Okay, that's why Quando Rondo got bond. The government did not meet their burden. And look, and it's crazy you say that, Kawani, because the judge did say that too. You are innocent until proven guilty. So for those that's running this story, the reason why Quando Rondo got bond is because the government did not meet their burden. For the past hour and 20 minutes, I have went through my notes of what was happening and gave you my opinion. They did not meet their burden. They had some good evidence overall, right? But on the basis of why he should be detained until trial wasn't strong enough, and even the judge said flat out, the government did not meet their burden. Okay. That's that. So once that was recognized, I didn't tell y'all no lie. Let me show y'all. And do not talk about my chicken scratch handwriting, okay? Look, this is what I had put on there. Granted denied. And you see I circled the granted, but yeah. So yeah, so once that was read, I ain't gonna lie, I looked over to the family and they was all smiles. His aunt was definitely like this. This is how she was. He cannot get in no trouble at all. He can't change his contact info, and he's required to appear in all court hearings. Now, for my Pacer people, they are sealing now, and I heard this with my own ears. They're sealing a lot of his bond information because of the threat on him, and I can't put it all on other people because at one point I was heavy on dropping paperwork. Now, I wasn't one of the ones who drops my address, but I was heavy on paperwork. But I did hear, okay, so if y'all go look and see sealed documents, I did hear the judge say, based off the defense motion, to have that shit sealed off of Pacer. So that would not be made available because it was ordered to be sealed. Okay. It's because it's his address and all that. Okay. What you said? He better stay off the phone and stay away from all gang members. He don't know which one of them working. Oh, correct. He can't be around nobody. Okay. Associated with this case at all. So they did not release the names. However, it's 3 people that's about to get picked up. Okay. Loud Pat, what to do? It's 3 people. Okay. It's under seal, but he had to be made aware of it because he can't have communication with them. But it's 3 people that have yet to be revealed as co-defendants on this indictment. So, okay. What time is it? Technically, he should be at probation now because the probation, that's when I realized the other person sitting at the table at the front of the courtroom was probation. He had to meet with them this morning at 9 a.m. to get his monitor on. So, okay. This case is proof what I try to tell people all the time, that the feds and states can charge you with the same crime. Yeah, but so the federal case is going to trump the state case. So eventually that state case is going to drop. And that's my opinion. But normally the state case, because let me use an example for those who have been following me since the Takeoff case. Lil Cam got charged on the state level and then the feds picked it up. His state case is still open. Well, it was still open until he got his time with the Fed. So now the state case is probably closed. So yeah, same thing with Boosie. Same thing. So they can't, you know what I'm saying? They're not going to charge you with both. But normally the feds will take precedent over the state. Okay, definitely. But he better just lay low, be chill. So so like I said, unsecured bond, $100,000. And I told y'all my opinion why, because he's already out on $100,000 bond for the same shit. He has to have a pretrial officer, lawful employment, surrender passport. He can't leave the Southern District of Georgia without prior permission. Avoid all contact with all parties, in this case, witnesses, defendants, all that. no firearms, no excessive alcohol, no drugs unless prescribed, and weed is not legal federally, so he can't smoke weed. He does have to do substance abuse counseling, home detention, other than to go to work, school, church, court, things like that, GPS, and then he has to report any contact, with law enforcement to his pretrial service officer, and he just need to chill out, for real. He just need to chill out because right now, ain't no it's a lot of unknowns, so he just gonna have to chill out and just enjoy his time because this is gonna be a fight. Because like I said, one of his co-defendants, got caught with 461 grams of fentanyl. Now they didn't mention nothing about being around felons. That wasn't part of what they read. Now I can't tell you the fine print, but that's not what was said out loud about the felons. They just particularly said he cannot be around anybody that's a witness, a co-defendant, or witness, co-defendant, a victim associated with this case. Okay, so that's pretty much it. That's how it went. Like I said, it was real chill. You know what I'm saying? Can they do a pop-up drug test? They ain't mentioned a pop-up. That would be more so pre-trial. So if they decide to probably, but that wasn't part of the order. You know what I'm saying? If they selling that shit, they deserve to be in prison. Well, again, he was not charged with selling anything. He's just charged with the conspiracy. Just FYI. Now, that can be a different thing too. He's charged with the sole account of conspiracy on the federal case. We know on the state case, he got other charges. So, I'm not sure how that's going to work because he technically only got charged with the conspiracy on the Fed case. My cousin did state time when he was released, the feds were there to pick him up on the same charge. I haven't covered anything like that. Not for the same charge now. I covered the dude in Louisiana. Louisiana and Atlanta. They ran the time together, but it wasn't for the same charge. I think he is more safer in jail because of the King Von situation. Nah. And to be honest though, and I'm just gonna be real, this is my opinion based on everything I was hearing. His shit ain't got shit to do with King Von. To be honest, if anything, his booking, because his manager even said he don't get booked as much since the King Von situation. So industry-wise, yeah, but he got ops for real, in his town. I don't think, this is just my opinion though. I really don't think there's no pressure like that about the King Von situation when it comes to down in Savannah. You know what I'm saying? I just think industry-wise, it fucked them up for sure. But yeah, he got shit going on for real in real life. Now, that's just my opinion though. Just based off, because again, the gangs that they mention allegedly gangs at trial are local Savannah gangs. So I'm not about to go down a rabbit hole to piece them together and all that, but the gangs and the situation is local shit. That's just again, in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? You got the inner beef with other people in the city compared to industry shit. So, that's that. That's just my opinion though. Yeah, I don't think his situation is really like that over, as far as street shit, is over Vaughn. That's just my opinion though. But his industry, blackball, they say that he's blackballed. He's definitely probably blackballed from what they were saying in court. He's definitely probably that for sure. But yeah, I don't think so. And I say that to say that's why I don't think he would be safer in jail, because hell, he's in jail with his ops. You know what I'm saying? He's in jail with his ops. So yeah. But other than that, y'all got any more questions before I get up off of here? because it's almost 10 o'clock. I'm ready to go shop, okay? Shop. We got triple threat tonight. Y'all make sure y'all pull up. Like I said, I will be taking me a break to like do other things. I got a lot of in-person events coming up, and it'd be so exhausting, okay? And there's nothing worse than being in a club somewhere, it's supposed to be a part of the festivities, and I'm in a corner trying to fall asleep. So yeah, I'm gonna have to fall back to get situated. But we hitting the year off right, okay? January, like I said, definitely gonna be out and about more. I'm gonna be pulling up, you know what I'm saying, to different trials. You never know what trial, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna be in. I get it, but yeah, I think he's better at home. That's just my opinion. I don't think nobody in the condition that jail is in. And again, this might sound like a biased statement because my dad is in jail. Okay, I just really feel like, hey, if you ain't got to be in that motherfucker, don't be in there. I don't like home confinement. You know, you better at that. Thank you. Merry Christmas to everybody that celebrate Christmas. Happy holidays to those who don't. I don't want to offend nobody. But just enjoy it. Like I said, spend time with your family. Spend time with yourself. Like, just enjoy life, you know. So, like I said, come the new year, Mickey Truth will definitely still be on their necks. Okay, I'm gonna be out and about more. It's a different feeling. And I'll say this before I go because it's a different feeling when you actually go in person to these things. Like when people, family, like people come up to me and say, hey, I know who you are. You know, I like your stuff. That's a different feeling. Like I get my Truth team online and y'all know I love y'all. Okay. Y'all show me love all the time. Show me support. For sure. And I see, you know what I'm saying, the numbers and I see the followings go up and I enjoy it. But when somebody real life, you don't know who they are. You know what I'm saying? But they say, hey, I watched this. Hey, you talked about, because like yesterday somebody came up and was like, yeah, I saw your video where you was talking about people coming at you because of your weight. Like, boom. So, hey, if I have to be the vessel, okay, to give other people motivation to get through things, I'm cool with that. So yeah, it's a different feeling in person for sure. Not saying that everybody like me, because we clear. Okay, even before I became a YouTuber, everybody didn't like me, but it's just a different feeling though. So yeah, come January, we out and about. Okay, we are outside. I'm gonna be doing interviews. You know what I'm saying? So it's a transition for me. And I wouldn't be able to transition into these new things if it wasn't for y'all. Even the haters, if y'all wouldn't push me out there so much, you know what I'm saying, then, you know, hey, make the video. You know, I'm definitely gonna speak my piece come sometime in January about that. But until then, you know, I'm a well-rounded individual. You know, I do multiple things. You know what I'm saying? So I just can't focus on the drama. So that's why I'm kind of falling back from to keep it moving. Because at the end of the day, drama may work to like push other people. It just doesn't work for everybody. And I'm too legit with this shit to like even lower myself to, you know, do that. So I'm just gonna keep progressing. And like I said, I'm outside for real. Okay, I got events lined up. I'll be out and about in different places at different events this week. So y'all see, make sure y'all go subscribe to my other channels though, because once you get into one zone on YouTube, they kind of don't really be pushing the other stuff. So my vlogging will be on my other page, Mickey Truth House of Truth. So my outs and abouts, y'all follow me on that page to stay connected with what I got going on. So just remember that I got other pages. Even if you don't see something on here, go check the other ones. Oh, and we definitely got that merch dropping. Okay, Loud Pack is in the lab with that. Hey, we just getting started. So again, y'all, I ain't gonna be all long-winded because y'all know I will. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have made this year the bomb.com. Okay, I'm still thinking about if I'm gonna do a year in review. I don't know yet, but you know, hey, that's all you can do, Quando, for sure. Like that's all you can do. But if I don't do a year in review, let me just say my piece now. This year has taught me a lot. I have grown a lot. Okay, I have definitely not president. I have definitely been through the ringer, through the mud, and I keep coming out back to back to back. I done went viral multiple times this year. Some of my biggest viral moments was definitely breaking the story. That little Tim case was dropped. Soldier Boy, a official statement from 2009 shooting incident. Olin Rance, actual body cam footage. What else we had going on this year? Of course, breaking the news, Quando Rondo getting out on bail. We can't forget, starting off the year, the BMF situation. Shout out to everybody that came over in that sector. We done been all up and through the sector. Shout out to everybody that have showed me love this year. Okay, shout out to the other bloggers and YouTubers that definitely, although, you know, we do the same thing, they had definitely showed up and showed out. Shout out to the whole Mickey Truth hater section, okay? Because at the end of the day, whether y'all want to admit it or not, y'all put me into the algorithm to where the point, y'all got me to the point, okay? I don't even got to be posting videos if I don't want to, for real, okay? So I appreciate it. Like I said, new website dropping 2024 for merch. We got new merch designs coming out. I ain't going nowhere. We got new backgrounds, a new backdrop situation, all that. It's going up from here, okay? I freaking love y'all, for real. Shout out everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's, just in case I don't see y'all before then. 2024. Y'all know what I like to say. I've been saying this since 2022. 2024, our volume just going up. Okay? Can they hear us? Can they hear us now? Can they hear us now? Like, next time y'all on YouTube, just be like, can you hear her now? Can you hear her now? Can you hear the Truth Team now? All right. With that being said, man, I'm out. Shout out to y'all. Happy holidays to your family, friends, everybody. Holla!